Changing tack a bit now, it's estimated that more than half of the women in South Africa have experienced some form of gender-based violence. Now, organisation Lawyers Against Abuse marks a decade fighting against that. The organisation has empowered more than 50,000 communities through outreach programs and educational workshops, and has offered support to more than 1,300 survivors of gender-based violence. Let's speak about their 10-year milestone now. We chat to Head of Legal and Operations at Lawyers Against Abuse. That's Lindsay Henson. Lindsay, good afternoon, and thanks so much for your time, and well done on 10 years of helping women and people in need. So tell us about the kind of help that you've actually been offering over the past 10 years, because often the legal aspect is where women get stuck and don't move forward with protecting themselves and getting themselves out of bad situations.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. So I mean, the mission of our organization is really to strengthen the way that the justice system responds to crimes of gender-based violence. Because as we all know, the way, South Africa has really great laws and legislation, but really where it breaks down is the implementation of those laws and pieces of legislation in communities. And so the way that the law is experienced is very different than the way that it's actually intended to be experienced. And so that's really where our organization, Lawyers Against Abuse, or LVA for short, comes in. So we exist to fill that gap. And so what we do is we provide free legal services, direct legal services, in the form of we assist with protection order applications, as well as provide comprehensive support in criminal cases. So that's everything from going to the police station with a client, making sure that their case is open, that they're not turned away, that their statement is taken properly, that their rights are respected, all the way to following up with the investigating officers to making sure that these cases are not slipping through the cracks, and then for cases that go to trial, then liaising with the prosecutor and then providing the client with support all the way through there as they testify at trial. Wow. And then at the same time, though, we recognize that it's not just legal support that women need or victims of violence need, but it's also that psychological and emotional support that they need as well. So then in a parallel process, we have a team of social workers and therapists who are providing ongoing therapy and counseling for our clients as they navigate the legal system as well. So it's really an integrated, holistic approach.
Wow, that's a lot that you actually do there, Lindsay. And I suppose, we'd want an idea of what your success rate has been, because often, like we say, women just stop short. It becomes too much of a challenge, and then they don't know where to turn next. So how successful have you been in actually getting, justice for these women?
I mean, I think success looks different for each of our clients. I think it's not necessarily always defined as a conviction just because it's so complicated. But in terms of convictions, we've been able to secure 35 convictions or guilty pleas in criminal cases that we've supported over the last 10 years. And then there's a number of cases that are still ongoing because these cases take years to reach completion within the justice system, unfortunately, which is one of the challenges. But then beyond that, we've seen a lot of women who are really empowered just by the information, by the support, and they're able to leave abusive relationships. They're able to make really positive changes in their own lives to protect themselves and to protect their children. So, yeah.
Well, where do you operate mostly? How do women get a hold of you? How do they get in touch with you?
So we have two centers. So we have a center in Diepsloot, an informal settlement, then in Johannesburg, and then we've just opened our second site in Orange Farm. So those are the two communities where we do operate, and it's a walk-in center where people from the community can come and get help. And then for anyone else, then we offer what we call technical assistance. So we're just recognizing that there aren't really specialized direct legal services for victims of violence. We offer just free legal advice to answer questions, to help walk people through the process, when they get stuck, or perhaps, maybe they've opened a case and they haven't gotten an update, then we give them just practical advice on who they can contact if they're not happy with how their case is being handled. And so people can reach us, they either through our website, we have a contact form, they can reach us by, telephone or email, or our social media, Facebook, on Twitter. People reach out to us, and then a member of our legal team then gets in touch with them.
All right, excellent. Thanks very much for that. And I think definitely a service that is so desperately needed by many women. And let's just tell you, it is Lawyers Against Abuse, but it's L and then lowercase v and then uppercase A. So uppercase L, lowercase v, uppercase A, and just do a search for them and find out how, if you need that help, how you can actually get in touch. Still